Well, so here's some homework help for the mystery particle assignment. We are going to show you. When I uploaded this to Scilab last time, we had some errors with real numbers and complex numbers when we're uploading. So let me show you how I deal with it. So first, let me hope the error works in my. I hope there's. It's a double-edged sword. I hope that I get an error, but at the same time, if it doesn't have an error, most of you will probably not have an error. So what you need to do is download this mystery particle data. And just click on that in Canvas. 3 megabytes. That's not too bad. Where's the... What do I do? Click here. Establishing connections. So there, it downloaded. Show in folder. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy that to my desktop. I already have it on my desktop, but compare info. So they're the same thing. I'll just keep both of them. So it saved it to the desktop here as mystery particle ELP. I'm just gonna rename it so that see if it works. We'll call it M. Let's call it mystery particle. I don't know, 2. So mystery particle 2 is what I saved it as on the desktop. Let's try and import that file. So now I'm gonna have to open up Scilab. My desktop's getting very cluttered. Gotta organize your desktop. Make sure you're organizing all the time. So I just opened up Scilab 6.1.0. I think I was running 6.0.0 on my other computer. Maybe that's why there was a problem. But let's just go ahead and try and hope it has an error message. So the traditional way you read in your data is by typing in CSV read. Oh, it won't actually. This command won't work unless I have selected my file browser to the desktop. So I just click on this little folder and then click on desktop and hit open. So over here in the file browser tab, it's going to show me all the files on the desktop. I have a lot because I haven't cleaned up my desktop, but there it is, mysteryparticle2.csv. So now I can go ahead and type this command in to read in the file. So that's what it should look like. Whoa, it's doing a lot of stuff. You can hit Control-C to stop the printout of it, because it would print for a really long time. So the way you avoid that, by the way, is you put a little semicolon at the end. Let me clear that so you guys can see. So if I wanted to type this in with a semicolon right here, it's not gonna print all the data points because there's 20,000 of them. So if you look over here at the variable browser tab, it tells you what the data is. Data is a 23 by 20,000. So if you type in data, it's going to print forever. So I'm going to hit data, enter, and it's printing 20,000 data points. So that's going to take a long time. So if you're ever stuck in this loop, hold the control button down and then type C. Control-C will kind of break that. So anyway, I just cleared the console. Okay, let's see. So we have data in the file variable browser, and I believe so what you want to do is, I think the last column of that is your mass. One way to check is just to open up your particle folder in Excel. And so if you wanted to create a histogram of the last column, I believe that is 23rd column, that's your mass column. So you would just need to specify the last column is mass. So mass is going to be equal to the last column, or the 23rd column in the data matrix. So, oh, look, I forgot to put a semicolon. Oh, but you know what? It did 20,000 data points. There you go. So there's the mass. Let's do a hist plot of the mass. And this is where there is an error message coming up. Now, I don't want you guys to just see the answers for the I don't want to steal the thunder. So instead of plotting a histogram with lots of bins, I'm just going to plot with one bin. And if you plot with one bin, it just is a big rectangle. So if I hit enter and the command works, then you'll see one rectangle. If it doesn't work, then we're happy, and I'll show you how to fix the real number issue. So let's hit semicolon, and boom. It looks like my Scilab had no trouble importing the data. But that is one histogram. So what this is telling us is all the data lies between 2 and 5 giga electron volts, or GeV of mass, and you have lots of data points that fill that. Like if I were to hist plot and normalize equals percentage F, I believe is what it is. I think that's what it is. I can never remember these things. It tells me, so this gives me the frequency counts and how many data points do I have. Like 20,000 of them fill this one rectangular bin. That was different from what I did earlier. So look at the y-axis. This gives me the number of counts, 20,000. That's what that normalization percentage F did. If I had just done it like that, it gives me some other value. And actually, I'm not sure what it's plotting. I thought it was percentages, but it would be 100%, right? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe the area of this thing, I think what it's doing, I know this sounds weird, but like this is actually percentage. So it's like 30% times the area. So the area of this is 100%, if that makes sense. So look, 2 to 5, that's 3 units. 3 units times this is going to be 100%. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird default thing. I would assume that you would want to normalize it by frequency counts, because that to me is like a lot more intuitive. There's 20,000 data points. All of them fit in this one histogram. Okay, so if you are getting sort of a weird error message that says something like error can't read in the real, expecting a real, it's like error expecting a real. Like had I typed in this command and I typed in and hit enter, it might give me like error in line 60 expecting real, something like that. So I mean, look, it even printed out a different error. But basically, this is what do I do for that? So I had problems with that. But essentially, what's happening is it thinks that your mass is actually a complex number, not a real number. So if you know anything about complex numbers and real numbers, then you might honor from that. But basically, you have to make them real numbers because it only accepts real numbers. So how do you make a real number? Well, I googled it. How do you make a real number in Excel? But I'm sorry, in Scilab, and the function is actually called real. So the syntax is y equals real x, and it makes basically takes the real part of a complex number and saves it. So that will fix your problem. So let's say if we were getting that error message, then I would just type in some other variable name, probably. I mean, you could do the same one, but I could just type in real mass. The real mass equals, and then you would type in real mass. So So what this is doing, oh my gosh, forgot the semicolon. Force of habit, right? So what it did was it takes all of these mass numbers, which are complex numbers, and makes them real numbers. Once I've done that, then I can, that's one line of code, then his plot will work. So the way you do it is number of bins, it's time 1, and then real mass. You want to pick the new variable, and then normalization equals percentage f. Cool. And then it gives you a histogram. So if you're getting complex numbers read in, high five, you can just do it for real numbers. So that's actually kind of neat that you can actually look at just the real part of a complex number with the thing, with the function, built-in function. Okay, so, well, good luck making your histograms. You should get full points if you make a histogram and then figure out what it is. What is this histogram telling you, right? This one's not telling you anything, but if you pick a normal number of bins other than 1, you will probably get something that looks good. So play with the number of bins, maybe 10, maybe 100, maybe 1,000. I don't know. Pick some different bin numbers and look for some interesting information from your histogram. Have fun.